Oh yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, I'd like to thank you once again for joining me for this week's PBL press conference. My name is Lucas, aka Macho Emolga, and what are you guys staring at? It's on my head? Little Macho's on my head, isn't he? You're such a troublemaker, Little Macho. Anyway, welcome back to my channel, guys. This week we're going up against TCF Eric for the second time this season in our last divisional match against him, and our second to last divisional match overall as we play My Turkey Sub again in week 8. So this week, looking at his team, he does have some options that he did not previously have, namely Arcanine. Arcanine is something that he did have. Now, Entei. Entei is a Pokemon that Eric has picked up since we last faced him, which is a very interesting Pokemon to say the least, to throw into his mix. Last time we were preparing for him, we did know that Arcanine was a possible problem, and Entei is just really a more offensive Arcanine. Like, Arcanine has the potential to be built as a defensive or offensive threat. Entei is solely offensive in nature. So also doesn't get some of the coverage moves that Arcanine gets, like a Wild Charge. It doesn't get Earthquake. I don't know if Arcanine gets Earthquake either, but anyway, it's definitely going to be interesting. We definitely have to watch out for Sacred Fire and stuff like that. So let's just get right into the team that we're building for this week. When preparing for this week's matchup, I didn't even take a single look at the team we brought when we faced off against Eric in week 2 or 3, I think it was. Or maybe even week 1, I don't really remember, but didn't even look at the team. I didn't want to be any preconceived notions about what I should possibly bring. We're looking at this completely fresh. So, first Pokemon we're bringing this week is Diggersby. Roger, our normal ground type with huge power. Silk Scarf for the item, max HP, max attack. Return, Earthquake, Quick Attack, and Swords Dance. Pretty much standard to what we've been bringing with Diggersby usually. I would think about switching it up if it wasn't such a good set as is, but honestly, Diggersby puts in so much work already with just as soon as you get off a Swords Dance, huge power, quick attack, stab, Silk Scarf, all of that combined. Diggersby is just a monster with this set, so I feel like it's the best possible thing to bring. Honestly, I really want to bring it this week because Diggersby puts in a lot of work against Entei. Entei one-on-one more than likely can beat Diggersby. Sacred Fire from Entei to Diggersby just darn near 100%, and then after burn damage it's a 50-50 to be an OHKO. So whether or not it burns depends on if it's an OHKO or not, so we're definitely going to have to get Entei down and not worry about setting up on Entei with Diggersby, because it won't work. Entei needs to be at least at around, Earthquake after a burn, and the Swords Dance still does darn near enough to take out. So if I'm going to beat it if I'm going to take it down 1-for-1 with an Earthquake, it needs to be around 80% with a Swords Dance. If I'm going to take it down I'm going to try to take it down with just Quick Attack, it needs to be somewhere around 40-ish. So that's interesting. So Diggersby, just an amazing set, deals with a lot of the rest of his team really well. Next up, our second overall option, and what I seem to be recalling as the Pokemon we based most of our build around for TCF Eric's team last time, Chandelure, Nightlight, Ghost Fire type, Flash Fire for the ability, Quiet Nature, Life Orb, not Life Orb, Choice Scarf for the item, Max Special Attack, Max Speed, Bit and 2 HP, and then move set is Fire Blast, Flamethrower, Shadow Ball, and Psychic. Psychic there for Nidoking and Tentacruel, essentially. So pretty much Chandelure, if you look at his team, Mega Alakazam, Shadow Ball, I definitely not Speed because I'm Scarfed, Scarf Timid, Caesar, Flamethrower, OHKOs, Superior, Flamethrower, OHKOs, Aggron, Fire Blast, almost Oko's, Arcanine, well not Arcanine, keep on thinking Arcanine, Entei, Shadow Ball does a ton too, Galvantula, Flamethrower Oko's, if Sash is gone, Nidoking, Psychic, almost Oko's, depending on his set. If he's not invested, it can Oko. Tentacruel, Psychic does a decent amount. Bronzong, Fire Blast, Flamethrower, either one. Delphox, Shadow Ball, Medicham, Shadow Ball. Chandelure is a great Pokemon to bring. I wish I had a bit more speed so I didn't have to run Choice Scarf so that he couldn't kind of play around what move I lock myself into. But I need the Choice Scarf to outspeed a lot of his things. It's only base 80 speed. And if he is timid, max speed, Choice Scarf with Nidoking, I get outsped because Nidoking is base 85 speed. So that could be a big problem for Chandelure as an Earth Power from a Nidoking. Definitely takes out Chandelure. It's not bulky at all in that department. But I feel like with the amount of coverage it has, we can kind of play around that weakness, to kind of see what's going to happen, give it a little bit of give or take. I will try my best not to gamble with my Chandelure and leave it in on Nidoking or something that I feel like outspeeds or can take me out. But Flash Fire instead of Infiltrator, because I feel like if Entei is going to lock himself into Sacred Fire on something, and I can I'm almost certain as it is that unless I see Life Orb on Entei when it first attacks, unless I see that 10% come off, then I'm going to be 100% sure it's choiced into something and I can play around that, because Choice Entei is just usually what's run. Next up, our third Pokemon is Mega Gyarados, Scramp, our Water Dark type, Mold Breaker for its Mega ability, Intimidate for its ability before it Mega Evolves, Adamant Nature with 252 attack, 252 HP, and 4 defense. Waterfall, Crunch, Ice Fang, and Earthquake. No setup this week in Dragon Dance. We'll get to why later on in the Pokemon list. But just bulky attacker with 4 moves to really cover a good chunk of Eric's team. I feel like Mega Gyarados can put in some work this week, and that is mostly because of just kind of like its type matchups. Like with 252 HP, it's definitely going to live some hits. I can maybe send it in, intimidate something, and then peel it back out without Mega Evolving. I definitely wanted that Intimidate ability for a couple of the things on his team. Last time I faced Eric, he didn't bring Mega Alakazam, Caesar, or Superior. He didn't bring a single one. He didn't bring his Mega or his 2 OUs. I don't expect him to do that again by any means of the imagination. He tried to pull that one time, and I think the final score was 3-0 or 4-0, so I don't expect him to not bring his most powerful members of his team this time. I am not bringing Thundurus this week, just because I feel like Thundurus has been getting so much rep and attention in the PBL the past couple weeks that a lot of people are going to start preparing for it over Mega Gyarados. So now we previously weren't bringing Mega Gyarados as kind of a like flip the script kind of thing. Now we're not going to bring Thundurus this week as a kind of flip the script, because I feel like Eric is definitely going to be expecting to see Thundurus set up, Choice Scarf Thundurus. He's going to have some Mon, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe all of them that are some kind of Thundurus counter. So we're going to kind of throw him off his game plan by not bringing it. With that being said, our last offensive threat is Hariyama, Captain Ponytail, Fighting type, Guts for the ability, Adamant, Bluff Choice Band, Expert Belt. Definitely feel like that can do something this week for sure. Adamant, 252 attack to max out all that attack power. Adamant, 252 attack, Expert Belt. If it's a super effective hit, it's almost definitely going to take out. 200 into defense, then 56 in HP. I want more into defense than HP because Hariyama's HP base stats are already really high, so it definitely needs that help in defense more than its HP, and another bulky attacker. Knockoff, Fire Punch, Close Combat, and Earthquake for the moveset. That hits a good number of his team for super effective damage. If I had to say what the ideal scenario is, it's that I'm able to pop off some kind of hit on some low HP Pokemon that is super effective. He expects me to be Choice Scarfed or something like that, maybe Choice Banded, goes out into something else that he knows can take that hit, and then I have a backup move for it. So if I like knock out, I don't know, if I knock off Caesar with Fire Punch, or yeah, if I knock off Caesar Fire Punch, or I knock off Aggron with Close Combat, and he expects to be able to go into Tentacruel to take the next hit, or expects me to force to switch out because and now I'm locked into Fire Punch or Close Combat, and neither of those are very effective on it. I have Earthquake in the back, and I know I can outspeed that Tentacruel if it's max defense, max special defense Tentacruel, and Earthquake will almost guaranteed OHKO it. I can gain a lot of momentum that way, so that's definitely in the cards for this week. Next up, our 5th Pokemon on our physical wall, Jirachi, Steel Psychic type of Serene Grace, Impish, our physical wall of Leftovers, max defense, max HP, 4 attack, Zen Headbutt, Stealth Rocks, Wish, and then the move that is the one move that is kind of based around this team this week, Trick Room. Jirachi is the only Pokemon on my team that can actually get Trick Room and use it effectively. So my other wall is not running Trick Room. Usually when I run a Trick Room team, I like to have both my walls running Trick Room. I thought Florges could learn Trick Room when I was planning out this team. Turns out I was wrong. So Jirachi is our only Trick Room setter, also our Hazard setter. It's got Wish, it's got Zen Headbutt for maybe some flinches, some staying power as well. So Trick Room is why we're running a lot of bulkier attacking Pokemon this week. I'm not making the same mistake I made against Turkey Sub ever again. I will always have a Choice Scarfer, so I have Chandelure for the Choice Scarf. That'll bite me, but I'm not planning on having Chandelure out there when Trick Room is up. I've kind of planned this out. I've done my kind of research on what could possibly be brought in and what could be brought out during this time, and I don't think Chandelure comes in during that 5 turns of Trick Room. But if I have to bring it in, if I have to sack off something in order to get rid of Trick Room, in order to bring in Chandelure Choice Scarf, I'm willing to do that. I know that Chandelure puts in way too much work for me with Choice Scarf in order to not have the Choice Scarf and in order to fodder it off to Trick Room. So that is for sure something that I've planned out, and just I need it. Even though it's a Trick Room team, I only have one Trick Room setter, so there's no guarantees I'm going to be able to reset it back up if Jirachi dies. So I definitely want that backup speed in mind with Chandelure. Plus, if he sees me pop off Trick Room first turn of Jirachi, maybe he doesn't even expect me to be running any Choice Scarfer, so that could catch him off guard for 2. And lastly, our final Pokemon is Florges. As I said, I was thinking Florges could learn Trick Room. I was wrong. Upon a Star, Fairy type, Flower Veil, Calm, Special Wall, Leftovers, Max HP, 200 Special Defense, 56 Defense. Moonblast, Toxic, Synthesis, Aromatherapy. Same set we've brought for the past 3 weeks, I think. It's just a really good Special Wall set, so I'm not too... I don't want to reinvent the wheel with this thing, so... That's how Florges is going to stay. I was planning on ditching Toxic for Trick Room, but that wasn't in the cards because Florges decided, hey, I can't learn Trick Room, man. Which I didn't understand it. Like in my defense, like in the game's defense, I didn't actually look it up. Like I didn't like look up and see Trick Room Florges. I just assumed Florges could learn Trick Room. It just looks to me like something that can learn Trick Room, but I was wrong. So I guess that's just something we live and learn by. We know something for later. As far as things that give me problems this week, looking at my team, I don't have 3 weaknesses to any typing. I have 2 weaknesses to water, grass, dark, ground, fighting, none of which are too prevalent on his team, save Medicam. Medicam gave me tons of problems, tons upon tons upon tons of problems. When I last faced TCF Eric, gave me a lot of problems with Life Orb and all those shenanigans. Huge power, his own huge power user. Swords Dance, Quick Attack, OHKOs for sure on Medicam, unless he's running a pretty decent amount of defensive investment, which I don't expect him to be. Now, do I expect, since Diggersby Quick Attack put a big halt to all his plans last week, do I expect him to be running a Focus Sash user? And do I expect it to be Medicam? Yes. Am I prepared for this? Not entirely. Not entirely. But if he has to sack off Medicam in order to get rid of Diggersby, Diggersby isn't the number 1 this week, and if I have to go 1-for-1 Diggersby for Medicam, I'm willing to do that because Medicam is a big problem for me. So that's the team. That's what we're bringing this week. That's what we're rolling with as we get to the 14th minute of this interview press conference. So anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. Come back tomorrow for our PBL battle against TCF Eric. Do I have anything else to say? I don't think I have anything else to say. Little Macho, come on over here. Little Macho says goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. He has a very deep voice for how small he is. My name is Lucas, aka Macho Emolga, and I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Oh, yeah!